Culture integration isn't an announcement. It's a series of habits. It lives in that messy middle between deal close and steady state. Hi, I'm Klint Kendrick, and welcome back to the Master Your Merger video blog. In this final episode of our culture series, we're getting tactical. What does successful cultural integration look like after day 1, day 30, or day 100? So there are really 5 phases of culture work. Phase 1 is diligence. Now, due diligence happens before the deal closes. So culture risk lives in leadership style, communication norms, decision-making cadence. You need to assess these things pre-close so they don't become your day 1 problem. One acquirer I worked with missed that the target had a flat, collaborative culture. After close, their command and control model caused a wave of exits. So what do you need to do? Well, run structured leadership interviews and review key operating rituals like how to run meetings or who has the power to sign off on things during due diligence. Step 2 is assessment of the culture. Now, culture assessment happens after you close. This is where you can get a hold of the employees and not just the leaders. And this gives you an opportunity to look at the baseline, which you need before you can plan for change. This means things like structured surveys, focus groups, and skip-level check-ins. One company used a post-close cultural assessment, and during that, they discovered that certain teams were feeling excluded, and they had to adjust the communication flows accordingly. This organization placed a lot of emphasis on the sales team, so the sales team got a lot of love. But the procurement team, which was equally as important to the company's success, really felt left out in the cold. So by understanding that during the culture assessment, both of these teams needed communication, it made a huge difference. So use that window immediately after close to listen before acting. And that way you're not guessing, you're asking. Step 3 is to design. You're going to build the future state together, co-creating these new cultural norms based on what the organization aspires to be, not just what it was. So you can design rituals, recognition, and decision rights that match. I'm familiar with 2 merging firms that created a shared decision-making charter to define how teams would collaborate going forward. And even more, they gave employees the power to say, hey, this is what you told us was the way that we're making decisions. We're not doing that. And they allowed everybody to be accountable to that decision-making process. So to make the invisible visible, you want to codify these expectations both in writing and in practice. And then finally, you're going to want to embed these cultural decisions into the way the team operates. You're going to operationalize it. So that means you need to train leaders, update systems, and build the accountability we just talked about. Culture only changes when processes and behaviors shift. One firm I'm familiar with revised their performance reviews to include cultural contribution as a rated category. Once those leaders understood that their bonuses and how they got rewarded was going to be dependent upon their contribution to the new culture, you better believe that they stepped up and behaved in a different way. So don't just rely on messaging, rely on mechanics. And then finally, you want to reinforce the culture. You want to make it stick. You do this through storytelling, measurement, and rewards. One example is monthly town halls that feature cultural wins, so a team could come up and share how they're living the new norms. You can also reinforce through your newsletter, through the way that you're asking questions in the surveys. So what you know is that culture dies in silence. And instead of silence, you want to celebrate those things that you want to see repeated. If you want step-by-step tools for doing this well, check out the Foundations of HR M&A course at www.masteryourmerger.com. It's designed for real-world practitioners who want to lead culture work, not just survive cultural integration. There's a difference between being involved in M&A and operating at a higher level inside it. The Master Your Merger membership is built for HR leaders who want that level shift. Now, the roundtables stay free and central, but the membership goes deeper, giving you access to monthly roundtable recordings, conferences, and small group masterminds focused on advanced M&A judgment and application. Founder pricing is available through May 1st, and you can learn more below.